Hello everyone, and thank you for viewing my portfolio and my video presentation here today. My name is Lewis Stevens. I'm a 5th, 6th grade English Language Arts teacher for Toledo Preparatory Academy, a public charter school here in Toledo, Ohio. Previous to that, I was a building substitute and finished the year as an 8th grade social studies teacher at Wellington Exempted Village Schools in Wellington, Ohio. I graduated from Ashland University in 2020 during the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. I completed much of my student teaching online. Kind of a bizarre circumstance there. My program of study here at the University of Kansas is the Master of Science in Education, Curriculum and Instruction with an emphasis in reading. My professional experiences impact my project by providing a practical framework by which to demonstrate course outcomes, especially those focused on reading and language arts education. And this goes everywhere from lesson planning to methodology to implementation to professional development and any facet of my practice that continues to benefit by my studies here at the University of Kansas. I hope to demonstrate this throughout my portfolio and video presentation here. The learning outcome we're going to focus on here today is learning outcome 2, identities, communities, and inclusive learning contexts, which has 2 components. 1, the use of critical self-reflection in the ways in which identity, oppression, and privilege influence individuals and their experiences in schools and communities, and 2, commitment to and evidence of practices that foster inclusive learning environments and opportunities in the candidate's context. I selected this outcome because I feel it represents my values as an educator and my continual commitment to equity in education. I also feel that the corresponding artifact is a highlight of my portfolio, and through my coursework here at the University of Kansas, I've developed a new passion for the advocacy of positive change in these respects, and I owe a great deal to that fostering to my experiences here in the program. While I don't teach in a school that's very linguistically diverse, I do teach in a school that is culturally diverse. So using this artifact and other KU course materials, I'm able to take a leadership position in my school in positive behavior intervention, response to intervention, teacher-based teams, and building leadership teams in order to put our students in the best position to succeed and advocate for equity in education, as well as be more prepared for the event that we continue to receive, and that will be the case throughout the United States, more students who are linguistically diverse. So one of the more underlooked aspects of this outcome is considering how your identity experiences affect your teaching practice. It's important to reflect and consider how those things influence what you do and how you can always improve. For example, I'm a student who grew up socially economically disadvantaged, so I try to consider things in my practice, those things that I can provide that weren't available to me at the time, things like hygiene products or snacks to get you through the day. However, I also recognize other aspects of my identity that have benefited the opportunities I've received in education. One thing I really like about this artifact, and it played a factor in me choosing it, is that it's very comprehensive of the technological aspects of the program here at KU. It involves Screencastify, audio presentations, uploading to YouTube, using research in a way that is cohesive and blends together towards the overall presentation of the materials. So taking that aspect of research, taking that aspect of application, implications for teachers, technological and accessibility, and other factors like that that create a product that is usable for my practice, for my fellow students here at KU, and anywhere on YouTube and the internet where that can be shared and hopefully benefit some other educators. So the reason video was chosen as the format for this artifact in particular was that I had created an interactive presentation through PowerPoint that had elements that were visual, auditory, Screencastify, and so on, that seemed to demonstrate the purpose of the project, but I knew that YouTube had the greatest reach, and it's why I'll be uploading this to YouTube as well for everyone to view, because I want to represent the University of Kansas with pride, and I feel that these materials do that. This artifact also made me a better mentor to Julian, and you can see our lesson plan and reflection that was crafted from information from this in Artifact 3 and Rationale 3. The KU eLibrary, of course, being a fantastic resource for delving into these topics. There's plenty available on there from JSTOR, from Eric.ed, from the National Institute for Education, and others. Some of the key texts that influence the creation of this artifact, of course, include things like English Learners and the Growing Need for Qualified Teachers by Quintero, Scaffolding Techniques for English Language Learners by Vasquez, the Sophia method that comes from Bostad, Epstein's Framework for Multicultural Education, as well as a few items that are not included in the references here, but definitely impact the way I went about creating this artifact. Things like my media project from CNT 807, a related course, and Words Their Way, an important text in both of these courses, and some of the words of my professor, who helped me to see things as looking for success factors. Barriers play an important role in how we perceive things, and it's important to consider those things, but our main focus should be on how we can take those, consider those, and benefit our students and push them to the next level. How can we be their bridge to success? So some of the courses that had the biggest impact on me through the program, CNT 740, of course, because it's such an introductory and overarching view of what we're looking at here in the program. You have a lot of new information thrust upon you very suddenly when you're beginning the program, and you're all the better for it. It's like unlocking a new door to education materials and curriculum ideas that you had maybe never even considered before that. Especially the historical context between a lot of that I found very interesting. SB 715, of course, another one. That was the most research-heavy course I took, and it felt very different from all my other courses. Gave me a lot of confidence in the area of research and methodology that I wasn't as familiar with before. So I was made a lot better for that. CNT 842, another one. The qualitative reading inventory was something I found very interesting. I felt like I found a mentor there in Dr. Karen Jorgensen. And most of my classes that were taken during the summer, where I had smaller courses, maybe not as many classmates, I felt like I made a lot of important connections throughout those, and those were quite possibly my favorite. Some of the impactful readings that will stay with me include things like Words Their Way by Laurie Hellman, the Qualitative Reading Inventory, another one. I felt like I learned a lot, and I felt like that opened up an interest for me that was not previously there and gave me a lot of things to expand upon. After completing my education here at the University of Kansas, I'm hoping to apply as much of the materials I've learned here to my current practice. I'm already doing so already, but to a stronger degree, and hopefully become someone at my school district that people see as an expert in curriculum instruction or an expert in reading education. I plan to stay in my current position for right now and become an advocate for some of the ideas I expressed above. I'm hoping to attend graduation here in May of 2023, and I would like to highlight Dr. Karen Jorgensen for her mentorship in my program. We had kind of a unique circumstance, and I really felt like I learned a lot from her. One of the highlights for me as a student here, and I've mentioned this in my portfolio as well, is creating the electronic ebook as well with Dr. Barbara Bradley. So thank you for viewing. I hope you got a good idea of who I am as a candidate, and hopefully I represent the values here at the University of Kansas with a degree of success. Thank you. Thank you again for viewing, everyone. Rock chalk.